Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, Tammy Lynn Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the podcast. We have something really exciting and fun to share with you today. So settle in and join me for Fairywing Healing, People Plus Pets. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. And over this last moon cycle, that just all got activated again within. So I really want to bring this to you, and I've had multiple confirmations that I need to be doing this. So before I share what we're doing, if you're new here, I want to welcome you so much to the podcast, the family, TLC for the Soul Tribe. You may have come here via the audio version of the podcast on some podcast provider. You may be joining us via YouTube. Either way, thank you for being here. If you are on YouTube, I invite you to, as a symbol of goodwill and reciprocity, to like this video if you enjoy it. And if you want to hear more from me, then consider subscribing to the channel family, so you can be notified when new things come out. I do actually do a little bit more on YouTube than on the podcast, but regardless, thank you for joining me. Returning family, thank you so much for being here. Before we invoke a sacred circle, whether you're new, whether you're returning, this is an episode not just for you, but for your pets. So I want you to round them up, whoever they are. Dogs, cats, gerbils, rabbits, I don't know. Whatever pets you have, horses. If you have horses, then I want you to take me. There's the dog going, yes. Take me to the stables or the paddock or the pasture. And let's put me on speaker so that the pets can hear me, whoever they are, wherever they are. If you're new, I invite you to just settle in, to see what we're about. You may not want to get all woo-woo, and then again, you might. And if you do, then I ask you to take your listening experience an octave higher as I surround all people and pets in love light and light love, inviting in the spirit guides, totems, familiars, wisdom keepers, dragons, who want to support us in this podcast episode. And if you want to take your listening experience an octave higher, inviting in your higher self, your wisdom guides and teachers, your familiars, higher selves, or consciousness. There's really it's not really a higher self for animals per se, but the consciousness, the higher consciousness of your pet, something that's a little bit up outside of their mental and emotional body. And let's settle in for this first episode of Fairywing Healing. Now I will point you to if you are on YouTube or Spotify, by the time this airs, I will have a playlist of past episodes I've done for animals. They're actually on YouTube, one of the highest viewed videos. I have a light language healing for pets. And I think I have right now maybe one other meditation for people and pets. So I will put that out there as well. So thank you so much for joining me. I want to share what we're going to be doing here. This is going to be regular, recurring series on the podcast. Why is this coming up? Well, because, where to start? we think of ourselves, you know, in terms of energy clearing. And here's what's going to happen as you're listening to what I'm saying. And what we're going to start doing is bringing in like some pet stories. I'm going to share this as we go along. I'm going to ask the guides to help me stay on track with what I want to focus on. But we're going to bring in some pet stories. We're going to start inviting you to share any magical pet stories with me via the show email. And then we'll start featuring those on upcoming episodes. Because I think there's much magic and things to learn from our, if you're a witch, you may call them your familiar, but to those souls, consciousness, that have kind of put themselves into animal form to come teach and learn with us. So your pet is really an extension of you, right? I call it like the mini-me in a sense. And they have all been sent here to teach us something, even if they're ones that you only interacted with for a short period of time. But there's some really, really special ones who have come to teach us a heck of a whole lot more. And you've heard me talk about my dog a lot. I'll be bringing in stories of past pets. I have a lot of experience working with animals. The ones I don't have a lot of 3D in this lifetime experience, although I know I have past life experience with, is working with the horses. I do have a past life in Chincoteague, which is off of the Virginia coastline, with the wild with the wild horses there in Chincoteague. I have a very special lifetime with them, so I know a lot about the consciousness of the horse. And it was so funny because way back, geez, I don't even know when it was now, 2013, 2014, 2015, somewhere in there, I went to see a shaman. And before I went to see her, I kept seeing horses everywhere. And when I got in to see her, one of the first things she said to me is, the horses are calling you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why they're calling me though. I don't know why they're here. So it's taken, I don't know what the heck, however many years ago that was, till now. And I still have not fully reached, like, in this lifetime, what I'm meant to do with horses, but that is yet to come. But I've had a lot of magical experiences with my own pets. I'm usually the ones that have the most to teach me have been, quote unquote, I don't want to call them special needs ones, but I've had a lot of like somewhat special needs pets. So as we go about, I'll share stories of them. I work with clients one-on-one with their pets. Be it a single pet in the household who may be having health or behavioral issues or emotional issues, because I can go in with my own experience plus my spiritual gifts, and I can speak to those pets and find out what's going on with them and can help their pet guardians understand how to best care for them. I also really like to work with packs of pets. So when you have more than one and there's some sort of behavioral issues amongst the pack, I'm really good about going in through the spiritual side, through the energetic side, and working with the consciousness of those pets as a team to find out what's going on. Oh, I'm getting so many chills. What's going on with those teams. And I have worked with clients in that in the past as well. I would say the divine masculine that's closest to what I do. What I'm doing is, I keep hearing like, he really floats my boat. Cesar Milan I know he's the dog whisperer. He's been around a long time, and there's probably like a lot of things you've heard about him here and there. But let me tell you, I've been listening to him lately, and his soul has really, really awakened. I can tell just by the way he's talking, like he really has come into his divine masculine form. Like if I know he's not like my twin flame energy, but I mean, that kind of energy in a divine masculine is very, I don't know, it just kind of speaks to me because he's very earthly and grounded and can get right in there and speak to the soul of animals as well. And I feel like in a way I'm kind of on that same wavelength. What else do we want to share about? Yeah, Zach George too is very, very heart-based. If you're looking for training videos, I've mentioned, I mean, everybody, I just assume everybody watches C'est Ça Milan, but maybe they don't. Zach George, I really like. And then there's many others. I'm sure you guys have some that you really resonate with too. And that's, I don't have all this. I'm not constantly watching pet training videos, but to deal with and work with this one that I have now, this Catahoula, I've really needed a lot of extra support. And thankfully YouTube has been there, because I didn't have, $10,000 to go to the Dog Whisperers training camp in California. Or, another one I really like too, if you have working dogs, I really like Stony Dennis for working dogs, because it seems like mostly in my past experience, the dogs that I've worked with have been working dogs. And it's the antithesis of me, because I'm very small. I'm like warrior like in stature, but I'm only like 5'2", so I'm very small, and I seem to end up with boxers and Catahoulas and big dogs that I've worked with, and I think that's all getting me up to speed to work with the horses. So enough about me and what I'm doing. I guess I just want to put that out there in terms of like, who does she think she is, talking to me about my pet. But I do have a lot of experience personally with pets, working with their soul consciousness, working with them physically in terms of training, knowing what they need, just intuitively knowing what they need, and working with clients and their pets. Specifically too, working with pets that are transitioning over. And this is all stuff I think that you guys know how to do. So here's what we're going to do here on these episodes is we're bringing the pets in as a group, as a consortium for healing through these episodes. Because just like you come to the podcast or go anywhere else for energetic healing, just like you're supposed to be clearing and shielding and healing your own energy as much as you can when you need it, you need to be doing the same for your pet. And the thing that comes up is I don't see a lot of these pets until they are already ill. They already have had to, they're already basically getting ready to transition. They're sick. They've had to have major surgeries. And a lot of that, some of it does come with aging, but a lot of the diseases that pets are getting, very human-like in nature types of diseases that are very surprising to me. Well, they're not surprising to me because I know what's happening there, but could really be prevented or staved off with preventative care, doing energy clearing and healing with your pets just like you do with yourself. Some pets are very, very sensitive though to certain types of energy healing. So I want to, this podcast series is to get you up to speed with how to best energetically care for your pet. A lot of this, I think you already intuitively know, because a lot of people that come to me after I work with their pet and then tell them what's going on, they're like, I kind of felt that, but I think this was just confirmation that that's what I needed to do. And the reason that you're a little reticent is because it's your pet. Every single person, including myself, is like, this is like, my child to me. I feel just so close. It's like you're not necessarily, some people, it is kind of their soulmate energy, but it's like, it's obviously part of your family, very close to your soul. And so you're skittish about doing anything that might cause harm to your pet. So you get, you're a little fearful about stepping in and doing something that you think might be, affecting your pet in maybe, a not so good way. Like you're not sure. So you may, just like you do with your own intuition, you may, it is your own intuition about yourself or other things. You may kind of like hear something that you may need to do with your pet or about your pet, or your pet is trying to tell you something, but you just are not really sure. So you don't really follow through on it. So these episodes, we're going to bring in healing for those that need it. Now, I do have to say up front, and saying it now, because I've had comments on some of these videos, we have to live in the reality that all energy healing is not going to heal everything. Because I've had people make, comment video requests like, can you do light language for, my pet's dental disease? And it's like, well, yes, but your pet's dental disease is not going to clear up unless you take it to the vet. And it's going to have Western medical care to fix what's already gone wrong in the physical body. So whatever we're doing here is an adjunct to preventative vet care or medical care that's necessary for your pet to get back up to speed again. So I don't want you guys to think that what we're doing is like everything. You have to, your pet can't always tell you what's wrong, although when I work with them, they do tell me right away. Pets don't have all of this baggage surrounding their aura, their auric field, weighing down and kind of the true essence of things hiding behind all these clouds of dissonance. Pets right away, as soon as you connect with their energy, tell me immediately what's wrong with them. As soon as I connect in, if they're in pain, I get the pain right away, and I get the emotions right away. Now the emotions are not coming from the pet. They're coming from, who do you think they're coming from? They're coming from you guys. Okay. So I'm gonna have to quiet this one up here in a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna have to pause. Okay, whew. Let's stop the barking. The emotions that are hanging around your pets are coming from you. All right. So we have to talk about the purpose of the pets in your life. And one of what they think their main job is coming in, they come to think that it's their main job, is either to protect or to serve you, in that because they're excellent at sponging off your energy field or filtering away, what no longer serves you, because they're very earth elemental. Didn't I say in one of these past episodes, was it last week or the Sunday, that we were going to be working a lot with earth elemental energy this week? So they're very earth elemental, and just like fairies and earth elementals, when you go out in nature, who work to kind of filter out what you don't need and clear your energy field, pets think that is their job, is to take what is hurting you or to take what you no longer need. My son is in the background too. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's all in a day's work here at TLC for the Soul. I just acknowledge that he's there and I just keep going. He always seems to want to record when I want to record. But they think that it's their job to take away what you no longer need or what is not good for you. And so they're kind of filtering away and sponging off, as they're around you, all the lower vibrations and lower thought forms and things as best they can. They can't do it all, but they do what they can think they can do. The problem is there's two types of pets working the work that they're doing. One is the type that's doing this. They're kind of sponging, like, oh, I think I'm helping. I'm taking away some of your grief and some of your sorrow so you'll feel better. And then they don't know what to do with it. So it sits in their energy field and it adversely affects them. Comes up as emotional issues and behavioral issues. Very easy to clear your pets, you guys. So we're going to be showing you on this episode and moving forward how to even do this yourselves. But we can go in deep too with some other things. So I want to share that. The other type of pet who does this clearing are your higher, what do you want me to call you? Like a higher life form of an animal. They are like wizards and other worldly familiars. A lot of them are star seeds or come from starseed origin, and so they know coming in that part of their duty, their service mission, is to heal and to protect, but in a different way, protect your energy field. But the one that I say he just transitioned. I feel like he just transitioned like yesterday, but it's been 2 or 3 years now that he transitioned. But oh my God, he was amazing. He's the most amazing being. But the problem was, and it was all in the heart chakra. By the time he passed, he had malignant lung cancer that he hid from me, that he didn't want me to know that he was sick, all the way to the very end. Like I didn't find out 2 days before he passed that he was sick, because he hid it from me the whole entire time, that he was gravely ill. But his problem was, and I connected in with him, and I had another intuitive connect in with him at the same time. And the thing with him was, Yeah, he knew he was supposed to clear energy, and he would walk around and greet. He was one of those like therapy dogs. He would walk around, but he didn't even have to get close to a person. He would just kind of stand and stare at them and like, filter away everything that was going on. But the problem was he knew how to release it. He knew how to release it down into Gaia. We talked to him. We're like, you can release this. Yeah, he knew. But he thought that if he released it, he didn't think it would go to Gaia. He thought it would go back to the person. And so he didn't want to release anything he had been filtering off. So for 12 years, give or take, I mean, who knows when he actually started to do that in his, come into his service mission. But he'd been doing it for so long, we just couldn't do it anymore. And it was kind of, I felt, I did the best I could at the time. I didn't know a lot of this at that time. But if I knew that, as best I can, I should be working with his energy just as diligently as I work with mine, then, he could have lived a lot longer. So this is why we're here. This is why I'm doing this work with you guys. And this is why I'm really excited about it, because pets are just like, animals are just so important to me. And, we had the little deer incident. I got very emotional last week or on Sunday about the deer that passed. And so I have to kind of go in with very strong boundaries where pets are concerned. Because I can get all up in it a little bit, So, all right, you guys, what do you want me to focus on right now? Let's see, how long have I been going on? Let's see, 21 minutes, okay. I want to talk about the different types of healing for pets, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. It depends on their, kind of like their nature of their soul. Kind of, are they more of an earth angel? You can almost give them very similar archetypes to us, although obviously they're not the same type of human hybrid light being starseed. They're not as highly developed physical and energetic bodily form, but their energetic signature, they're saying, is much the same. I have Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Gabriel here helping me out to bring this information into you, as well as what I know from my own experience, in case there's anything that I'm not tuned into yet. I'm just asking them to help confirm and help share anything else with us as well. But it's not a one-size-fits-all. So there are some that do very well with Reiki and quantum energy healing, more of like projecting of hands or hands-on kind of stuff. The one that I'm talking about, the Border Collie, he's Peabody. He's in the thumbnail, I think, for today's episode. I put Peabody because he's like one of, out of all the pets I've had in my lifetime, him and I've got one other who were really like, really earth angels, earth elemental, and very, very advanced healing soul. The other one that's in the thumbnail is Luna. She was a very special case. I'm really still trying to understand her whole purpose for being here. I think her purpose is going to show up a little bit later on. She was a Australian Shepherd. She was 2 years old. She got lymphoma and passed. And those two that are together in the picture, so Peabody and Luna, lived together for a while at the same time, and ended up passing within 2 weeks of each other here at home with me. So it was very, very strange. So a lot of experience with that as well, and working with animals who are transitioning and who maybe don't want to transition and are holding on longer than they should. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So the Border Collie could not take Reiki. Reiki and quantum energy healing, like holding up your hands and projecting energy as if you were doing quantum healing or any type of Reiki, was like too much for him. It made him very agitated and he did not like it. And so when I connect with a pet, I ask them, or I just connect in like, what's the best type of healing? A lot of them respond very, very favorably to crystal healing. Crystals in around their bed. It's certain types of crystals, though, mainly the very gentle, soft ones, but you just never know. It depends on the animal, a type of animal as well. Crystal healing and crystal grids, you usually can't go wrong. And what was the other one we said? like flower therapy, like having them be around certain, not being where they could like eat them or whatever, but having certain types of plants or flowers around them inside the home. This is the other thing we're leading to. Okay. Oh my gosh. Just like, I say that because around me, I see it so much. And so I'm going to be just like all your pet trainers out there that you watch that teach you how to train your dog to, you know, sit and stay and all that. Depending on the type of pet, especially a dog, I mean, if it's a cat or whatever, there's different type of stimulus and stimuli and stuff that they need to keep them at optimal health. But dogs especially just have to get outside. They have to exercise. They have to be allowed to be a dog to some extent at certain parts of their play. And they most certainly need your attention and your affection. That's what they're there for. I don't think you'd be listening to this podcast if you were the type that just got a pet and left it in your home and never interacted with it, which is so disheartening to me. I see that so much where I live. I see these people with these and huge dogs. There's somebody that lives around me who has 3 huge dogs, bigger than mine, greyhound type. They're not really greyhounds. I don't know what they are. Some sort of hound dog. 3 of them in a little small space, a little small condo. And I see the dogs come outside to go to the bathroom and go back inside. Never walked, never taken outside, only come out to use the bathroom and go back in the house. And I see that a lot around where I live. And that's again where my boundaries have to come up, because I'm like, oh, these animals, they're just, I can't go into it. So your pet has to be exercised. It has to get out and get fresh air just like you do. It needs energy clearing. It wants your love and affection. It wants good organic food just like you, or the best that you can pay for. You know, everybody's on different levels of what they can do. But what you would give yourself is what you should be giving your pet. And if you expect a long life and a good, healthy relationship with your pet, then you have to get yourself, involved. Cats are really, oh my God, I had a cat, I swear. Do I tell this story now? I'm going to tell this story now. I'm going to give you this story. And then we're going to do some healing for your pets. And just by them listening to me right now with the light codes coming through, the inflection in my voice, and connecting in with all the pets that we've already circled in here, you should see that if they're agitated about anything, emotional, anxious, or whatever, that they start to settle down a little bit. I have had people contact me where their pets have just gone through, major like medical treatments, surgeries. The pets are in a lot of pain. And as soon as I connect with them, they show me that pain right away. And then I've heard that, they're able to kind of, after I connect with their consciousness, they're able to relax a little bit. Not that I'm doing anything there. It's just, there's a whole lot that goes to that. But we'll just need to save that for the next episode. We're going to have to chart out what these episodes are. But let me tell you this story. Let's do some healing for your pets, just a little bit. And then the next podcast we come back, we're going to show you how to clear and work with their energy. And we're going to talk about, they want me to talk about pain management for some reason for our next episode with pets. So I had this cat. It was so amazing. I had a white boxer. I don't know if you know what a boxer is. You can look it up if you don't. But it was white. She had a little brown ear, and the rest of her was completely white, not necessarily albino. And then, they have the little cropped tail. And I had her for 12 years. She got lymphoma. And very unexpectedly got lymphoma. I noticed like a swollen lymph node in the back leg. And it's one of those, like, as soon as you identify it, and as soon as the vet identifies it, it just almost kind of blows out of proportion. And so within, I don't know how long, maybe a few weeks before she passed. And she was very, very close to me. She was very special to me. She was actually given to me. A lady that I worked with that I barely knew came up to me one day. I knew the lady bred or had dogs. She didn't really necessarily breed them, had dogs. And said, I want to give you a puppy. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And the dog was so cute. And this woman was really an earth angel too. Like, she showed up in my life. Like, I barely would have any interaction with her, and she would show up at like these special times and like leave me a gift. And so she gifted me this puppy, and I had this dog the whole entire life from a puppy. And so I was very, very close to her. When she passed, it was very traumatic. It was the first passing of a pet, especially with a major illness that I'd ever dealt with. I was very young, in my 20s. And it was just like, you know, kind of one of those like I can't deal kind of situations. And I think it was the day of or the next day or whatever. And she passed right on my birthday to make it all the better, right? Right around that time, a few days later, and I couldn't sleep at night. I would get up at night and I couldn't sleep. I was so distraught. And back then I didn't know, you know, clearing energy and how to deal with stuff like I do now. But I would go sit outside. And one time I was out, it was like 2:00 in the morning. I went out on the front porch of my house in San Antonio, and I could hear, you know, like meow, 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 coming down the street. So it was like at the end of the street, I could hear this meowing, and it was coming, meow, 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 meow. And I had a fenced in yard all the way up to like the sidewalk of the street, meow, meow, meow. And it comes to the front gate and sits there staring at me. And it's an all white, you guys, I was totally freaking out. It was like an all white, like Manx cat, the bobtail ones that don't have a tail, all white with blue-green eyes. And I was freaking, I was like, oh my God, this looks just like my dog. I almost having like you don't know. And again, at that point, I was with a partner who had no idea what was going on. And even then, I mean, I wasn't really, you know, completely opened up to at some level psychic abilities, but nothing to the level that I'm at now. But I was like, oh my God, you know, thank you. And it sat there meowing at me. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do about this cat. So I just kind of saw it as a sign, and I just kind of went back inside the house. Well, this cat proceeded to come under my fence, and I'm in my bedroom, and I'm kind of trying to go back to sleep. And it came up to my bedroom window, and it meowed and meowed and meowed, and it circled my house, meowing at every window and door. Meow, 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 meow. And then it went away. And every night for like a week, only at night, it would come and it would do the same freaking thing until I finally said, okay, I'm taking this cat in. And believe me, this cat had more, when they say cats have 9 lives, and I tell you, I've dealt with animals with the strangest things. I mean, this cat somehow one day showed up with a broken pelvis, and we nursed it back. The vet nursed it back to health. Every time the vet saw me and this cat coming, nursed it back to health. Then it got bitten by a brown recluse spider, and it had that whole, you know, flesh eating, like all the way down all the way down to where I could see. Sorry, this may be TMI for some of you, but I mean, this is the level of detail I was working with. All the way down, so you could see to its stomach, to its organs, and the vet and I kind of nursed it back to health. And then the cat got diabetes, and I had to give it wasn't even that old. Based on what the vet could tell, you know, they look at its teeth and everything. Well, it got diabetes, and I had to give it like daily insulin shots, just like a person. This cat was insane. And the funny thing is that when its soul mission with me was over, which was, I don't even know how long it stayed around, 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. It left. It just left. I mean, it was with me that whole entire time. And then its mission finished, and it was gone. It just, we never saw it again. It just walked off and left. So crazy. Oh my God. Anyway, so these are the type of interesting magical stories. I just feel like they kind of make our day. And I know that you guys with pets, whenever I hear you speak about them, it raises your spirits. It helps, again, bring some of that nature elemental magic in for healing and helping others. So if you have, I'm putting out there, if you have any magical stories about your pets, anything they've done or anything that sounds, you know, kind of crazy like what I just shared, I've got many more to share with you, then email those into the show. The show email is in the show notes, kind of at the very, very bottom, or in the video description on YouTube at the very bottom of the description is the show email. And just send me the story, and Spirit and I will randomly pick those to start sharing on upcoming episodes of Fairywing, you know, so that people can hear those good vibes as well too, because you want to just hear my stories. I thought about writing and channeling in some stories, and if we don't start getting a lot of input from you guys with stories, then I might just do that, because there's a lot of really good pet folklore. I can just channel in, you know, we can channel in. I've got plenty of guides. We can channel in stories from them too. what else are we going to be doing? So let's do the healing. I think this is good enough introductory, and it sounds like we already have our next episode for pain management. If you are looking for, from what I've heard from the comments for the light language that I've done for pets, I'd say most pets respond favorably to that. I've had a lot of comments on that video that are like, you know, cat or dog or whatever was completely relaxed after listening to this. And that particular video is for healing and clearing their energy field and brightening, bringing up their, you know, they don't necessarily need a lot of help brightening their spirits because they don't have a lot, like I said, holding them back. But that's another thing for our third episode, I think, is we're talking about helping them understand what their soul mission or their job is with you. So I'm going to put that down for episode 3, that we really need to work with them on what is their job. Like, their job is not to siphon off your energy and hold on to it all day long. We need to start giving them some different jobs, because you're in charge of your own energy field, and you don't need your pet taking that on. And we want to help them with their longevity and with their, what is that called? Like, you know what I mean? Like joie de vivre, like just enjoying their life and increasing their level of satisfaction with why they're here. So let me just check in with the guides that are here so we know what pets are listening and what type of energy work to do right now. Okay, they just want me to do a little light language. And so what it sounds like, what I'm getting from this is you plus your pets are going to be returning listeners. And so we're just doing a little light language to give you a feel for what this is going to be like. What is this going to be like, this healing? How is it going to work with your pet? So after we do this, what do you see? Do you see more calmness? Now, this is not going to fix everything, right? We will work with some behavioral issues in upcoming episodes. And what we could do, this is another thing we could do too, is we could get you to send us behavioral issues. I don't want to call them issues, but challenges, whatever, that you're having with some of your pets. And we can, if you are authorized, quote unquote, authorize us to speak about those to the masses, then we could start tackling case studies on this as well. But this is just for you to see how this affects your pet. This is an overall, like what we're going to deliver right now in terms of light language is just going to calm and soothe and clear their energy field. And then, you know, we'll start working with pain management and health related stuff in the next episode. Like I said, this is for all pets. So if you haven't already, you know, bring them in, put them around you, give them some loving, put me out in the horse paddock. All right, here we go. Now, this is not just for your pet, okay? So we said people plus pets on this, right? So if your energy field is clear and balanced and happy, then your pet's energy, they're little mirrors of what you're going through. If you're anxious, they pick up on that and they're anxious. And then they tend to take on your anxiety and hold on to it. Just like we've taught you, and maybe we haven't taught you, maybe we taught the Divine Masculines how to do this. We're going to have to come in and teach you how to clear their energy field if you don't know how to do that. But this is energy work, energy healing for you as well as them, okay? So you get the double benefit. All right, so just relax with your pet. Just hold them close if you want to and see how they react. See if they get more relaxed, if they get up and walk away. If they get up and walk away, that's fine. Let them get up and walk away. Certain types of healing are not for all types of pets, like I said, especially with the Reiki. You'll be able to tell right away. And then you'll get a sense for what works best for yours. Take a deep breath. So what was happening there is that's very, very fairy and very earth elemental, a little elven light language. They're like, do you want it to be, we'll call it elven or elvish? I'm like, it's elven, right? Elven. Light language coming in. I work with a lot of elves, so it's like, you know, clan is coming through or whatever. But as we were doing the light language, we did have some fairies coming in and some nature elementals coming in, actually clearing off your pet's energy field and working around you to just clear out just anything that was kind of there on the surface that wasn't for your best and highest good. That was very gentle, very sweet. I don't think that anybody would have gotten up and ran off. You never know. It was very gentle. All right, so let me just check in if there's anything else they want me to say. Okay, so that is all for today. Like I said, if you have any stories that you want us to, think you want to share with other listeners, send those in. Or if you have any behavioral case studies you'd like me to take a look at, then or that we can focus on with other listeners that you're not, not afraid, but not everybody wants their stuff shared over the air, so you have to kind of know that we're going to share it. Then send those in as well. And next time we see you in the podcast will be for Freaky Fridays. We will be doing the July energy forecast. I have yet to say what July starts our Signs and Portents, the Holy Made Manifest. So I'm excited to be talking about that. I have no idea what that means. So we'll see what that is on Friday. And the next time I see you for Pets Plus People or People Plus Pets is for sounds like our pain management case. Sounds like we're going to be doing a case study on pain management. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me here on the podcast. And we will see you all again soon in the next episode. Take care. This episode of Fairywing Healing Pets Plus People has been brought to you by Happenstance Dress Shop, Chumasha's one and only boutique for people plus pets. Come and visit with Drusilla, the owner, who will show you around Happenstance and help you find the most magical of items for you and your familiar. From cats, gerbils, horses, and dogs, Happenstance Dress Shop has something for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.